Hello again, everybody. Today is Friday, and welcome back to Daily Psalms for Hope. We're looking at today Psalm 37, and I would encourage you. It's a long psalm. It's 40 verses, but man, is this one packed with a lot of good stuff. And so I encourage you to read it all. Because of some of the things that David is getting at in this psalm. But today I'm going to be focusing on verse 25 and then go back to verse 5 and 6, which happens to be one of my rising stars in terms of favorite verses. And so it means a lot to me and has a great impact on me. Especially these days. But I wanted to focus on verse 25 first, and it says, I have been young and now am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken. Now when I read that, it sort of jumped out at me because, well, I have been young and now I'm old, obviously. But this part about, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, what does that mean? Well, it doesn't mean that you never have hardships in your life. It doesn't mean that you never have trials in your life. It just means that you have gotten through them. And as I look back on all the things that have happened in my life, God has not forsaken me. I in my early days of life, I was a Christian, yeah, but I mean, I wasn't really pressing in on who this God is and what he means to my life. But now that I'm older, I'm doing more of that, and I'm encouraging people here in this congregation to do more of that. But the one thing that has occurred all throughout my life, all throughout my journey of faith, is that no matter what the trial, no matter what the hardship, I have always gotten through it. And he has not forsaken me, meaning he hasn't been there for me through the trial. And that's what forsaken means. When you're abandoned, when you're left alone, when you're coping with it by yourself. That has never been the case in my walk of faith. And the more I look back at all the things that I have gotten through, I can always see, God's hand moving certain things. Now, has everything gone exactly as I planned? No. Things have been hard. Trials have been hard. This last year has been hard. But we've gotten through it. And God has not forsaken us. He has not abandoned us or left us to fight these battles on our own. And that is the message that I want to give to you today. This God that went to a cross and died and rose again on the third day just for you and just for me has never forsaken. It is not in his character to forsake, to leave, to abandon his children. And when you begin to think about that, it's extraordinary to me. Which then brings me back to this verse 5. Verse 5 is, commit your way to the Lord, trust in him, and he will act. And so we could spend a lifetime on what does commit your way to him mean? What does trust mean? But as you explore that, as you get closer to understanding that, you realize that he is there. He will not forsake us, and he is going to act. He will act. It says he will act. He will bring, verse 6, he will bring forth your righteousness as the light, your justice as the noonday. He will get you through it. That is a message that can be preached over and over and over again to people who are going through challenges in life, who are suffering, who are feeling hopeless. But you're never abandoned. You have a God who never forsakes and never leaves us. And that is what is so precious that I have learned throughout my years. I have been young and now I'm old, and I'm beginning to realize that this is so true about the character and personality of God. He just doesn't leave us alone in the midst of our mires, in the midst of our darknesses. It just doesn't happen. And that is the promise that we have. He will act. And so we commit our way to him. We trust in him. We draw closer to him to understand more of that. Because Lord knows we need it when the trials come. And so I hope that rings true for you this weekend, that this God will not leave you or forsake you. Never has, never will. And may God's blessings be upon you. Have a great weekend. Worship him, praise him, because he is a God you can count on. Till the next time.